Holy shit. Oh my God! Oh my God!
They went into their school as students and walked out as victims. They survived a school shooting and became a statistic. But the students at Marjory Stoneman Douglas refused to become yet another casualty in a nationwide epidemic. On February 14th, 2018, they marched from their school, escorted by police with their hands on their heads.
We are not here for breadcrumbs, we are here for real change.
And they didn't stop. They kept marching. Their will and their tears have created a tidal wave that has swept across this country and engulfed the political arena. They've spoken up, spoken out, and they demand to be heard.
If all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see.
There have been 23 school shootings this year alone. Kids no longer feel safe in school, always wondering if they will be next.
What happens is when you don't take action, things like this eventually will happen to you. Children will continue to die if we don't take a stand now.
If you think back, we've had a shooting every day since February 28th of 2015.
Right now, there's a gun for every person in the United States, so the guns are out there.
After Sandy Hook, I was sure that we would engage in a national reckoning and pass some laws to keep kindergartners from getting slaughtered in schools. The outrage seemed to have subsided. I think this group of young people is different.
But what was different this time around?
Activism ultimately is a young people's game, and I think maybe that's what makes us a little different, because you have this big group of young people and they have nothing but energy.
They already had the most powerful weapon in their arsenal: social media. 3 days after the shooting, they were an organized group verified on Twitter. And within a week, they had a collective 2 million followers. Their voices were being heard.
In a little over 6 minutes, 17 of our friends were taken from us.
They were experts at sharing their message in real time. Two things that tend to spread on social media are anger and hope. And these students brought both to the gun debate.
Stand for us or beware, the voters are coming.
They called out critics. They commanded their own story. Their posts got the attention of major news outlets and even led to a CNN town hall.
I think I'm just gonna interrupt you real quick and remind you that the question is actually, do you believe it should be harder to obtain these semi-automatic weapons?
Before social media, their message would have quickly faded from the headlines. But Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit kept their message alive. I sat down with a panel of 17-year-old students from schools across Chicago to better understand how social media is helping them to use their voice.
You're given a platform to speak and to speak with power.
When you can really shove it in their face and make them see things without having to take a lot of effort, everything is so accessible.
And I feel like the generation before us they cared, but not as much as we do, because social media is so strong.
What's difficult about that is, while you might be able to say a lot, are people really listening?
And are politicians listening? Senator Kwame Raoul isn't sure.
I think some of them are, and I think some of them just want to take advantage.
Do you feel like you're creating change? Do you feel the change happening?
These platforms are arising. People are being able to say what they need to say.
But will they be able to carry the momentum until Election Day in November?
So what does it mean to be able to vote? You guys are all turning 18 in 2018. You're going to really use your voices in a different way, right?
It means power. It's power to the people.
You have to give something for people to vote for.
We're not going to be 17 forever.
There is no one solution for the gun debate, but for this generation, doing nothing is not an option.
Just vote. I don't think everyone realizes how easy it is to do it, and everyone should do it and everyone can do it.
But if not now, when?
I'm hoping that one day this is the moments in a history book that my grandkids read about where the Parkland shooting led to,
If not now, why?
Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
And if social media is their weapon, inaction is the deadliest threat of all.